Good morning, everyone. It's Catherine. I have a really good story here to read to you. It's called Stormy, and it's written by Kwajing, and it's published by Schwartz Wade Books. See, in the beginning, you could see it's night. There's a tree there. It looks a little stormy out. A bench, and there's a little bundle of something under there. So this is a story about that little bundle. It's a story about patience, kindness, trust, and about finding a forever home. So the story opens up with this little bundle, which turns out to be this little dog. And it looks like he's sitting underneath this bench, or laying underneath the bench, and he sees somebody walking up, so he slithers away. He's like all hunched down and slithering low to the ground. Oh, and it's a woman, and she comes up and she sits down there on the bench, and she's watching him. He goes behind the tree, and she calls to him, "Come on, come here, pup, come here." But he doesn't come. He stays there. So after a while, she goes about her walk or wherever, and night falls, and the little guy goes back underneath his bench. So I'm getting the idea that maybe this little fella or little girl, this little dog, lives underneath that bench. That's not a good thing. Okay, so it's morning, and again, the little dog sees somebody walking up, so he slithers away, hides behind his tree. Oh, it's the woman again. This time she walks up to the tree and she's putting out her hand. "Come here, little fella. Come here. I won't hurt you. Come here." And what does she do? She puts something down. It's a ball. She puts a ball there for him. And she leaves the ball by the tree, and she goes and sits on the bench and reads a newspaper. And he's watching the ball. He's watching her. And she stays for a long time. She does try to go over and talk to him one more time, but he doesn't want anything to do. So he goes back to behind his tree, and she leaves. But she leaves the ball. And she keeps coming back, putting the ball inches closer and closer, trying to make a connection, trying to get him to see that she's a good person. So she comes back again and again and again, and he's getting used to seeing her, but he still is very, very leery. See the ball? She rolls the ball to him, and he hasn't gone for it yet, but she's being patient. And then here it is, night again, but look, he's got the little ball right by him. That means he picked up the ball and brought it over to his bench. That's a good sign. Okay, so now the next day comes, and she comes back, and he's waiting, but he hides behind the tree. And then little by little, like she picks up the ball, she rolls it to him. He gets it, but he doesn't bring it back to her. And then he'll drop it and run behind the tree, and she'll pick up the ball and roll it to him. And he looks like he really wants to play, but he's not going to, because he must have been through a lot of hard things. But look at this. So she spends the whole day, because now it's night, just sitting there with him, saying, "You can trust me. I won't hurt you. I'll take care of you." But she doesn't push it. She's very patient. Her kindness must be coming right off of her. He must feel it. Otherwise, he would have been far gone. So now look. So she gets up, she has to go, and she leaves. But look, he's like, "No, I want to go with you." So he's following her through the park, into town, across the streets. She doesn't know that he's behind her. Across more streets, down an alley, around a corner, until she goes into this building. This must be her apartment building. And sure enough, he's watching. He watches her go in. She still doesn't see him, but he sees what light goes on, so he knows that that's her. Dogs are very smart. At night, and he's waiting. He's going to wait all night until she comes out. But look, it starts raining. And it's not just drizzling. It's pouring. It looks like torrential rains coming down. And then the light comes back on. And he's waiting. And he's waiting. And look, thunder, lightning. You could just feel that thunder. Those cracks of lightning. And he's so sopping wet. Well, so he drops. What does he drop? The ball out of his mouth. And he goes and he runs behind this can and hides, tries to keep dry in this cardboard box. He's already so wet. There's no keeping dry. But look at this. She's looking outside. She goes, this is terrible. I have to go get him. So she gets dressed. She runs out of that apartment and down the stairs and running down the street. And look at the wind. It's so heavy. You could see it, how it's blowing this umbrella. Look. But there he is. She doesn't know that he's right there in the box. She goes to the park. She makes it there. She's looking under the bench. She looks all over behind the tree. And look at how the wind is getting a lot worse because this umbrella has just about had it. Look at this. She doesn't find him. She's looking everywhere. And she goes home sad. Look, she's walking really sad like, oh, I couldn't find him. So she gets to her street. She sees something. What is that? And she walks over to it. And it's the ball. She knows it's the ball. And then what does she see? She sees him. Right there in that box. She goes, oh, you poor baby. You found me. Okay. And what has she done? She picks him up and wraps him in her arms and holds him tight and takes him into her apartment. Puts down the ball. And then she dries him, and gives him some food. Look at the nice warm fire. He's in a nice warm place. And he has something to eat. And she just holds him so he never has to be alone or afraid again. She puts down the pillow for him to sleep on, right by the end of the bed. And he just puts his head right up on there. And then they go to sleep. And he has trust. So he curls up at the end of her bed. Trust, kindness, and patience. That's what this is about. And you know what? The first time I ever read this, I wondered why she didn't bring him food instead of a ball. Because she was trying to earn his trust. Not just by giving him food, but by reaching out and being patient with him. Great story, isn't it? I love it. And I hope you liked it as much as I do. We'll read it again, hopefully soon. And have a wonderful day. Thank you.